Headed out, stopped in the park on the way to get something to eat, and then can take a little touristy train around Perpignan, but it sounds like it'll be interesting, so I'm going to take you along for that and show you a couple other interesting sights, and that'll be today's video. I've been here before, came back for some pasta. One of the rare times you'll see me get a soda. I got a Coca-Cola, and there's 2 ice cubes in it. Something really decadent for lunch, a version of fettuccine alfredo. Hi, EG here from the future. So I'm going to show you some train footage. I took a little tourist train around the major landmarks of Perpignan. I didn't do this sooner because it wasn't even operating until April. So anyway, I'm going to show you some of that, but I'm giving you an advance warning. I'm not including tons of footage. I couldn't get good footage. The train was crowded. I was in the very back. I was stuffed into the corner because there were normally only 2 people sitting on a seat, but there were 3 on my row, and I just had too many obstructions. I couldn't get good footage. So I'm out. I'm telling you now that I'm going to go out again and do some walking and get a few more like scenic shots. I did also get something from the roof of the Galerie Lafayette, which is the department store, which has a wonderful like 7th floor rooftop or 6th floor rooftop thing. So I did get some footage from that. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a little more view of Perpignan. And so I'm going to walk down among the antique thing here today, because I'm doing this from the future, remember. And I'm going to walk down and hopefully get a little bit of footage of the antique stalls, and then walk them in the old section of town. I'm going on a quest for some hot chocolate. So anyway, enjoy. I know the footage is bad from the train in advance, so just warning, but I did include some of it.
Musica? Musica?
Yes. Why no? Why no? Oh. Pertenecía a España esto.
Bueno, mayor.
¿Y quién era España?
No España.
porque הם צוחקים כל הזמן.
Arriba hay que coger un casa.
¿Qué? Pero también tienen un signo, ¿no ves? ¿Dónde fuimos a hacer la biblioteca?
Okay, so I just got off this thing. I'm calling it the torture train. It was so uncomfortable sitting. It was, you know, if it hadn't been crowded, it would have been fine, but it was also hard to get on. Too big of a step. They didn't have, like, so I had to somebody had to help me with a step stool to get up there. So yeah, torture train, but I'm off it now. Headed here to go to their rooftop terrace. Look at that. More torture victims for the torture train. I think that's the Palais de Mallorca, the Citadel. So I think that's what that is in the distance. This is the last segment of the Mallorcan walls, built around 1300. Right there with the arrow slits. Actually, there's another turret remain down there as well. This is amazing, 1300. So you can see here, I'm just going to be coming up on the antique area. I will film what I can. I stopped for a hot chocolate at a place that has very good hot chocolate, and then a little alleyway in the old center. I remember from the tour yesterday that this particular street that I'm looking down right now is where the famous writer Georges Sand stayed. I don't think the pub is open. It's a Saturday around noon and it should be open, but I don't think it's open. I don't think I got this good from the train yesterday, so I'm going to put the name of it up on the screen. But there's this wonderful, apparently very famous nude statue. We're looking at her from the back, in front of it. But this is where the tourism, Office de Tourisme is. So, yeah. Look what I discovered, the Bureau de la Préfecture. Now, I don't know if it's currently that, but that's what the sign says. So I hope you appreciate some of the footage I shared with you here in this video. I'm gonna talk to you in a moment about some experiences I had this week, really positive things, so that you kind of get a feel for that as well. Let me adjust the camera there a little bit. But yeah, my time here is coming to an end. I'm here for only another week. As I'm filming this, by the time you see it, it'll be less than a week. And I've really enjoyed it here. Now, would I want to live here? Don't know. Don't know. I have to, you know, if I ever get a visa, then I will, I would seriously consider this location. I have not had the best weather here. I mean, the first month I was here, it was really not great weather. We had a lot of clouds, a lot of wind, some rain. It's not what I considered south of France weather. So, but I also don't like it super hot. So I'm not sure I would really love the summer either. So, I don't know. I don't know about that. I like the city. It's about the size of a city I would like to live in, but there's lots of other choices in France to be. So I'm really not sure this would be it if I end up being a resident in France. But I want to end this video by talking about some interesting things that happened in the last week or so, and I mean basically positive things. So and it kind of ties in with what I want to mention about the things that I do really like about the culture here. So I think I've shared this with you before, but one of the things I really like is that people, when you're walking down the street and you're walking in the town, people are not like super friendly. I mean, they're not saying hi to you, bonjour all the time, and they're not smiling at you. And I actually appreciate that. I like the fact that I can walk along and I don't have to worry about strangers just randomly trying to strike up a conversation with me, because it's not very common here. I mean, I'm sure it does happen, but overall it's not common. And I appreciate that. But I also appreciate the fact that usually when people do say something to you, they're very polite in France. There's a lot of politeness that goes on. So let me give you an example of that. On the day I went to the beach, I think it was, I came back and I was crossing onto this little street that kind of leads into the neighborhood where I'm staying. And the sidewalk, as it is in many residential areas especially, is not very wide. And so I was walking along and I saw ahead of me, coming towards me, a guy pushing a baby carriage. And, you know, he was probably a man in his 30s or something like that. So I just naturally kind of stood over to the side because I knew he would need to pass and we couldn't both walk on the sidewalk. In the street, I didn't, you know, feel like I wanted to go walk in the street. So, because some streets, there's cars that still, this is a street where cars, you know, come down. So I just kind of stood over to the side patiently, and he came towards me, and then he said, "Oh, merci, madame," you know, and then he said something. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I did understand him. He basically said, you know, "Thank you for being so kind." You know, he says, "Oh, it's you know, something about it's such a problem, you know, with the carriage, the baby carriage on the sidewalks or something like that." And I just smiled at him, you know, and he, you know, again, he just said merci again, and a big smile on his face. Now, again, the French are not generally smiling when they go down the street. So when you do get a smile from them, or you get a thank you, to me, it just means so much more, because he was really appreciating that I was thoughtful enough to get out of the way early for him, instead of waiting to the last minute, you know, and then kind of going, oh, you know, I guess I got to move. I literally thought ahead and did that. So I appreciate, I mean, he appreciated me, but I appreciated that he said what he did. And to me, that's just an example of the type of politeness that you get from people. Something else happened at the little grocery store near where I live, where I was waiting to check out, and often what happens is people that are buying their stuff, they know the clerks in the store, and they just start chatting with them, and this can go on for a couple minutes. You know, nobody's in a hurry. And so I already had known since when I got here that, you know, just be patient. I'm not in a rush. I don't care if I have to stand there for a minute or two. It's not a big deal. So I'm just standing there patiently waiting, not being concerned about it. Well, this woman kind of came in from the side of me, and she didn't see me right away, and she kind of got in front of me in line, which again did not bother me, because, it's just like I have a different mentality about it. Well, this woman, she hadn't even seen me. And then when she turned around and she saw me, she was, oh, excusez-moi, madame. And she was so apologetic. And she insisted I go, before her because she said, oh, I don't remember exactly how she said it because I didn't understand every single word. But she basically said, I shouldn't have gotten in front of you, basically. So, and I just said, oh, it's, no, pas de problème kind of thing. So I did go, she waved me in front of her and I did, but I thanked her. And what I'm saying is, you don't see that a lot in the US lately. I mean, at one time you did, but you don't see a lot of people being super nice about apologizing because they cut in front of you. People are much more cutthroat now in the US culture. And I'm talking in general. Of course, there's exceptions. There's always exceptions. But I'm just saying in general, I've witnessed that over the last at least a decade, maybe more, where people just, they just push ahead of you. They don't care. And here they don't do that on purpose for the most part. People are very aware of the niceties and being polite to people, and they take that seriously. So those are a couple of things that I just wanted to share with you that I noticed in the last week or so that I really do appreciate about the culture. Now, I realize the culture is probably changing here too, just like it is everywhere. And maybe that doesn't happen as much as it used to. I have nothing to compare it to. I go back to something a viewer said to me. They made a comment that when I went to the UK, I was going to be horrified because it's not, I'm going to hate it. It's not going to be any, it's not like it used to be kind of thing. And I sent them a reply back and I said, well, I'm not going to know any differently. I've never been to the UK before. It will be what it is to me. And I will probably think it's fine because I don't have anything to compare it to. Maybe it was a lot better 20 years ago. Maybe it was. But I don't have that frame of reference. So when you're at a place for the first time, you don't have anything to compare it to. And so I always keep that in mind. It's like, people have warned me about this, that, and the other thing. But it's, again, if I don't have a frame of reference for it, it doesn't really matter, does it? Anyway, I'm just sharing with you my perspective and my experiences. Your experiences may differ. Your perspective may differ, and that's okay. Everybody has their own experience of things and their own perspective. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the footage of Perpignan. There might be one more video that's going to come out that has a little bit more about things related to where I'm at. But then I'm moving on. I'm going to be going on to Dijon. So you'll see a whole new place, and you'll see how I adjust and adapt to that and learn my way around. I'm looking forward to it. I've heard really good things about Dijon, about the food, about how beautiful it is, and so I'm very excited about that. So until next time, be kind always and keep moving forward. Take care. Bye.